Blog Talk Radio. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard. Hi, it's Natalie Jean Nat with Chatting with Nat. Today we have R&B artist Stacy Olieux on the show. Let me give you a little background. Stacy is an R&B musician from Toronto, Canada. She's been singing her whole life, but only seriously took up music about 6 years ago when her then boyfriend, now husband, bought her first recording mic. She makes music to vibe with fans. A lot of her music touches on mental health, just something she struggled with. So she hopes that she can reach out to people and make them feel less alone. Even if she could have one or two people, that would make her feel so good. In her spare time, when she's not writing music or studying, she's listening to music because it puts her in a mood, or she hangs out with her husband and giant dog. Music is really at the core of her, though, and she wants to share that with the world. So let's give a round of applause or hand to Stacy.
Hello?
Stacy.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very well, thank you. So, tell us how you really got into music.
Well, it really started with my husband buying me my first mic about 6 years ago. And I mean, I've been singing all my life, but when he bought me my first mic, that's when I really started recording myself singing. And that's when I really started taking music seriously. And I started kind of getting more involved with producers and different management companies that I was going through. I've been through quite a few and was unsuccessful with quite a few of them. Right now I'm with B Squared Management and I'm finding them quite useful.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how I pretty much got into it.
Great, yes. B Squared Management, they're great. I use them from time to time. I've used them for the last 4 months. I love Birdie. She's excellent.
She's great.
Yeah, no, she's awesome. She's very sweet. Love her. How would you describe your music?
I describe it as very, I guess, kind of melancholic, but also kind of vibey.
Okay. No, okay, and vibey. I like that, vibey. What about your music is rebellious, unconventional, or unusual?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
What about your music is rebellious, unconventional, or unusual?
I think my music is rebellious in the sense that it touches on a lot of, like, my song that I released last month, Come Home, is about, on the surface, maybe it doesn't seem that dark, but it is really dark. So it's kind of rebellious in that sense, and unconventional. It's about, you know, being alone and being really depressed, and even about overdosing and stuff like that. So it's really dark, though it doesn't seem that dark on the surface. But in that way, I think my music can be really dark and even there's been other songs that I've written that are like that. And in that way, I think my music is like that. And I think on the surface, not everyone might see that, but when you dig deeper, you realize that my music is like that.
Okay. So how hard? I'm also one that talks about certain experiences that I've had in my life. I have a song about suicide, which was about me and my own sexual assault. It's called "I Told You No." How difficult what is it for you to write about your own personal experiences?
It's not difficult for me to write about it. It's actually very therapeutic for me to write about it.
Okay.
Um, what's difficult for me is putting my songs out there because I just feel like you put yourself in such a vulnerable position when you're writing your music.
Right.
And then when you're putting your music out there for other people to listen to, they're listening to that really vulnerable side of you.
Right.
And it's almost like, they're getting to know that deep, sensitive side of you that no one else really knows about you. And it's almost scary in a way. And yet, if you connect with people or you learn that you've not changed someone's life, but impacted someone's life in some way by making your music, and just, helping someone through a moment or something in their life. It's an amazing feeling.
Yes, no, I agree with you. I kind of changed my branding of my music myself. I want to be an effective player in life. I want my music to make a difference. So I know where you're coming from. It's important to me that people get something out of my music. It's not just you come hear me sing and it's a good time. If that's what you get out of it, that's great. But if it can move somebody to do something or make a change in their lives, I just love that. Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So who are your main musical influences?
My biggest influence is a singer named Banks. I don't know if you've ever heard of her.
Mm.
Um, she is my biggest influence, followed by Janae Igo. And The Weekend is another big one. Um, I think those three are my biggest influences. Um, and I've also grown up my whole life just listening to music. My dad has a very eclectic taste of music, so I've heard, country music, rock music, and everything in between my whole life. So I've grown up listening to a lot of different types of music. But these are like the main influences that have influenced how I write my music.
Okay. Fantastic. Have you always been interested in music?
Yeah, my whole life.
Awesome, awesome. So why did you decide to do R&B?
Um, so when I was a teenager, I was actually really into rock music.
Right.
But as I got older, I just fell in love with like hip hop and R&B. And I felt like I had a voice more for R&B music, and I just really enjoyed that music a lot better as I got older. I don't know why, it just something changed in me, and I just enjoyed that music a lot more.
Awesome. So we're gonna play one of your songs right now. Come home. Describe the song for us.
So Come Home is about feeling lonely and being really depressed, and just wanting your significant other to come home to take some of that pain away. I wrote this song in the depths of depression. My
Okay.
husband also works a lot, so I was alone when I wrote this song. And it got so bad during these times that I was alone, that I started to take Benadryl overdoses just to escape the pain that I was feeling. And at those times, I'd often have like hallucinations and other weird experiences. I think I'm just a person who has like way too much solitude, so I often crave having my husband around. And when that wasn't happening, this song was born.
All right. Well, we're going to have a word from our sponsors, and then we'll play the song. Hold on 1 second.
Hi, it's Jordan and Madison, and we're Jay Madison out of Nashville, Tennessee. We'd love to tell you about B Squared Management, artist services by artists for artists. Get your press, branding, single release, and sync success plan now at bsquaredmgmt.com. And listen up to our latest single, Down, now on Spotify.
I love the song. So, how do you deal with? Obviously, this song came out of you when you're going through something. So, every time you sense that loneliness, do you gravitate more to the music? Has more lyrics come out of you?
So sometimes when I feel really lonely, it goes two ways. I either feel like writing, and sometimes that writing turns into music. Sometimes it just turns into poetry, or I just um isolate myself and like turn to maladaptive ways of coping, which isn't good, but I can't help it.
Um, because I understand where you're coming from. Because I'm a person that suffers from depression, and so because I'm always thinking, oh, I'm gonna leave the music, I'm gonna stay the music, I'm gonna leave the music, I'm gonna stay out of the music, and but music has been my saving grace. Um, for me, I know when I find something that makes me happy, like music, dancing, um, reading, or watching something funny, it takes me out of that space of the
Mhm.
and we all have our, different ways to cope. But I always try to find something funny because then I'm just
Yeah.
laughing, and then that takes my mind away from things. There was a point where I also suffer from insomnia. So there was a point where I was drinking, not drinking, well, I would have shots of NyQuil, cough medicine, because it would knock me out. But I also have a drink with it. And I went to the doctors and, oh my God, you shouldn't be doing that. That's really bad for your liver. But let me tell you, it helped me sleep a lot. Me sleep very well. So I understand where you're coming from, in that space, because the other thing is, um, you know, I'm single, so my mom would always say, "Oh, when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna get married?" And it's stuff. And the thing is, I'm not lonely. I'm so busy with music. I mean, I have a day job. I'm trying to do Sisters in Music, the podcasting, and doing and pushing my own music, that it actually don't even think about my relationship status, or so. It doesn't really matter to me because I'm so fulfilled with all the stuff that I'm doing. I always tell her, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Especially now in a pandemic, who's dating?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Uh, so, what do you enjoy most about being an artist?
Definitely just writing music, because I find it very therapeutic when I am writing music. Um, like the process of writing a song for me is that I usually just like sit down at my keyboard and play around with chord progressions until I find something I like, and then I record and sing on top of it like random phrases that just come out of me. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, I really like what I just said, and I know it's coming from a place like deep within me, so I know it's really how I feel. And in that way, I feel like music is therapy, because I'm finding out all these like hidden little secrets about myself.
Yeah.
And when they come out of me, something just like clicks and it makes me understand myself better.
Great. No, I get that. Music has the power to heal. It has the power to move people. It has
Yeah.
a difference. It's like the one place where we can all just jam and not care about who we are, and we could just set ourselves free. If you could perform with anyone, living or dead, who would it be?
Definitely Banks. She's I really look up to her. I love her. I love everything about her. She wrote a poetry book. There's a song that, oh, sorry, not a song, a poem that she performs live called Ode to the Gray Zone. And whenever I'm feeling particularly down, I'll like look it up on YouTube, and she performs it live, and there's this one version that I'll watch of it. And just hearing it just kind of lifts my spirits a bit and reminds me that things are going to be okay, just hearing it. And so, like, I love her poetry. I love her music. I love watching interviews of her and just hearing what she has to say and agreeing with her. And I just love everything about her.
Awesome, awesome. So, how do you deal with writer's block if you ever get it?
I usually take a break from music for a little bit and listen to my own music and try to get re-inspired by whatever I'm listening to. I'll usually listen to the artists that inspire me, like I said, like Banks or Janae Aiko or The Weeknd, or even like artists like I really like Black and like Drake and different artists like that. And I try to listen to the beats and find something really inspiring and then go back to my keyboard and just come up with just play around with it and come up with different things that I like and try to get over the writer's block that way. That's through the beats, and then lyrically, I don't ever really get writer's block lyrically. Like, I always have different phrases that come to me. Like, if they come to me randomly too. Like, sometimes just in the shower they'll come to me, and like I'll start like repeating them over and over again just so I don't forget them. And then as soon as I'm out of the shower, like I'll go and write them in my phone. I don't know. I just always have different phrases that come to me, and I can write poetry really quickly. And so I always have something up my sleeve when it comes to that.
Awesome. So, you mentioned the shower. So, for me, it's funny. I get my best ideas in the shower, but I can never remember them once I'm out. Like I'm like you, I have to run out and kind of try to jot something down. So I want to create a gadget. I keep saying this. Nobody better pick my idea. Is a gadget like you can put in the shower and it's waterproof and you can just press the button. I mean, I really want it, and it just you can't hear the shower, but you can hear is like the vocals. I have to come up with always come up with these ideas in the shower and forget. Where's the craziest place that you've ever come up with a song?
I've had the experience in the shower too, and then I tried to like it was like a beat that I kind of came up with in the shower, and then for the whole shower I tried to like repeat the beat over and over again in my head, and then as soon as I got out of the shower, I ran to my studio and I like recorded the beat on my keyboard, and I was able to actually save it, so that actually worked out.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But it's hard to do, like to just keep something in your head for that long and like be so afraid to forget it.
No, I know it's kind of crazy. it is. It's just like you're like, I know I have this. Let me hold on to it. Let me hold on to it. I just gotta play it. Remember it. You know, when I'm working with, because I don't play an instrument, but when I'm working with my music producer, I usually voice record something because I know the melody that I want. I can come up with any melody in my head, and I just record it in the song. Now, do you play an instrument at all?
I play the keyboard.
Oh, also, I see. I've been trying to listen. I've had a keyboard in the box for about 4 years now and it's one of those smart keyboards. I just need to bust it out. I'm like, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn. Yeah, I need to write a song called "I'm Gonna Learn." I'm gonna learn because I'm telling myself that all the time, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's too much to do. How do you manage to promote your music? Because I know that all of us artists have to be on all these social media platforms and remembering to post and not post. don't post too much, but you have to post a lot, and you have to be on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Snapchat, and every 5 minutes you're hearing about all these other platforms, and you're like, wow, how many things can I get on? So how do you manage all your social media?
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit I'm not very good at it. I mainly use Facebook and Instagram, and everything else I don't really use. Like, I don't have Snapchat, and I don't, what's the other one that they have now? TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I have no idea how to use it. I don't know how to use it.
TikTok might be for you though.
Sorry?
TikTok might be really useful for you, and I'll tell you why. Now, TikTok, you see a lot of silly people doing silly things, but on the other side of the spectrum, there's people that do amazing, like, personal things, or they'll do, like I did my song "I Told You No," and I sang it, and then you can put all these little hashtags and pictures and gifs on it and blah 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 to make it a bit more interesting, and I got a lot of views on it. So what I try to do, I actually do my own music. I don't even do other people's music. It's very rare, unless I put my cats in it and try to be stupid on there. That's basically what I do. But the things that you go through, like when you're feeling lonely, you could do a TikTok video and just express yourself. You could try it that way. Yeah, if you ever want to do TikTok, I would suggest you do that. I think there are a lot of people like us. There are a lot of people like you that just need somebody to talk to. And if they know somebody else is going through the same things that you're going through, I think that you could get a wider audience, and, that could help your music too.
That's a good idea. Yeah, maybe I should do that.
You may think that. Okay, so we're going to play I Could Love Better. Tell me what that song's about.
That song is about the fear of losing someone. So I've always felt like I'm someone who has a higher ability to love. Like, I always feel like I love people more than they love me. And so this is an irrational fear that I have, that I might lose someone that I love. So I'm saying I can love better, but to no other person in particular, just in comparison to anyone. And it's just reminding the person that if they were ever to stray, that I could love better than anyone else. And this obviously means that I have some trust issues. But yeah, that's what the song's about.
Okay, hold on one second. We're have a word from our sponsor, and then we'll play it.
Hi, this is Nikki Chris, and I host a podcast called Mixin' It. Mixin' It focuses on women in the music, entertainment, and the performing arts. Our goal is to provide an avenue for industry veterans and up-and-coming artists, musicians, engineers, and producers to showcase their talent. Listen to Mixin' It on Monday Music Madness at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Sim Radio Network.
stuck around to prove to you I can love better. Yeah, I can love better. I can love better. I can love better. I can love better. I can love you better than she do. If you choose, baby, don't you see? There ain't no you without me. And though I've tried and tried and tried, I think you're picking her side. Oh, I stuck around to prove to you I can love better. Yeah, I can love better. I can love better. I can love better. I can love better. I can love you better than she do. If you choose, oh, if you choose me, oh, if you choose me.
Once again, fantastic.
Thank
So
you.
awesome. So what are you working on now?
Right now I'm working on a bunch of stuff. I have a bunch of music that I just go back and forth on, a lot of unfinished projects. I have a song that I'm working on right now that I actually had someone contact me through Instagram that said that they're getting signed to EXO, like the Weeknd's brand,
Mm.
and he wants to do a feature with me.
Good.
And so I'm working on a song to do a feature with him on, and yeah, that's my biggest project right now.
That's awesome. No, you should do that because you never know. Yeah, no, you gotta do that. Do you speak in French?
No.
You're like, no, just because I'm from Canada doesn't mean I speak French. I always ask. That's awesome. You definitely should do that. You always never know where things can take you.
Yeah.
Just make sure you get your credit where credit's due. You get your credit.
Yeah.
How have you been? How have you been during this whole pandemic thing?
Oh, it's been rough. I mean, I'm still in school, so I've been studying a lot, but I haven't been out of the house very much, and that's been bringing me down a lot. I don't know, it's been really depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it doesn't feel right. Like the world is just not in a good place and it's not normal, and I miss just being out, and we're coming back into this like the spring, summer months again, and I don't want to be stuck in the house during those months again. So I'm hoping that this clears up really soon.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Have you ever done any live streams?
Live streams? No.
Yeah. So basically, well, if you're with B Squared, they're gonna get you to do some live streams, and actually, like the fact that they did that with me, because I had never done them by myself. Basically, because sometimes you'll have people, sometimes you won't. Sometimes you'll have a bunch of people, and then sometimes you'll be singing to yourself. But it's a great way to, get more fans, get more people interested in you, and still focus on music. It's another aspect that allowed me to, um, have a happy mindset, so to speak. So yeah, I should definitely look into maybe doing one. I mean, you're on Facebook. Well, you could do it on Instagram actually. You could do it. Just play something. So one of your songs, sing it, so people can see you live. Another
That's
way to
true.
yeah, another way for people to see you. Um, how do you feel about women in music? Do you think we are in a good place? We have more to go. Are we being seen more?
I feel like women need to be seen more in music. Um, I don't know. I feel like there's been progression,
Hmm.
but I feel like there's still more that needs to happen. Um, because a lot of the artists that are out there, it still feels like it's male dominated.
Right.
And um, I don't know, when you say that, like what comes to mind is, that song Girls Need Love Too?
Yeah.
That's what comes to mind. I don't know why. I think of that song and it reminds me that just like, girls need not just love, but, they need to be represented more in music, and they need to be
Yeah.
on equal ground with men.
Yep. Amen to that. I'm with you on that, sister. Because we've been fighting way too long.
Yeah.
And we're continuing to fight for equal pay, to be seen, especially in the music industry. What was really fascinating to me, this like woman singer, songwriter, extraordinaire producer, Justine Blazer, she was telling me how she went to an event a couple of years ago and she was the only female music producer in the room. The only one. And
Oh
so
wow.
yeah, so now it's gotten better where I think it's 50-50. But yeah, um, a lot of music. See, I'm sure there are a lot of them out there. They were just not getting noticed. But now because women are fighting more in the music industry to get to be seen and heard, we're gonna hear a lot more of us out there, and it's about time because this is not a male-dominated world. This world wouldn't be here if it wasn't for women. Obviously, we need men to procreate, but we are the incubators. So
That's true.
maybe we should
And when
just.
you think about it, actually, when you say that, like all of the producers that I've worked with have been men.
You see, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and there are a lot of women out there. It's just crazy. But I also think sometimes people want to work with a particular female artist or producer, and I think people need to expand their horizons because it's a lot of people. Oh, I want to work with this Grammy producing producer, blah blah blah. Me, let me tell you, if you can get the job done and you're good, I don't care where you are in your career.
Yeah.
I'm willing to push other people wherever they are in their career and say, look at who I work with. This is just amazing. I don't need names on my music. I just don't. I mean, I'm lucky enough that my music producer is great and his music has been in film and television, all kinds of things. But I could use Joe Schmo and I'd be happy, uh, or Jane Schmo. I'd be happy. If you could give advice to your younger self, what would it be?
um, my younger self. I often think about my younger self as being a very pure form of me.
Mm.
And sometimes I think back and I'm like, you know, my younger self, what would she think of me right now? And I'd be like, I think my younger self would think that who I am right now is not who I would want to be. So I think that my younger self would actually be the one giving advice to my older self. But if I had to give advice to my younger self, I'd like younger self, meaning probably like in my teens, I'd probably say, don't make such rash decisions. Because even with like having bipolar disorder and going through manic episodes in my teens, I made a lot of rash decisions and stupid decisions.
Right.
And so I regretted a lot of what I did. And I think I know a lot of it was beyond my control, but if I could control it, that would be my advice to myself, would be to not make those decisions.
Yeah. Well, that's good, but I like the reverse. You're like, oh, I can't wait. I guess you're telling me a few things about myself right now. Awesome. So when all of this is said and done and the pandemic is over, do you have any plans to tour?
Yeah, I definitely want to. I believe B Squared said that they mainly do touring in the U.S. So I guess I'm looking on going for a bit of a trip.
Awesome. I love traveling. This is one of the things most, like every year in November, I would go to like the Caribbean or somewhere warm. I have to go to a beach just so that I could feel alive.
Yeah.
Miss that.
You're lucky. I haven't been on a vacation in like over a decade.
Are you serious? No. I always tell people, take a vacation. In fact, like today and on Monday, I took off from work. But it's not really a vacation. I have to do work on my music stuff. But I'm taking time away from something else to be able to do something else. But in regards to taking like vacations and getting on a plane, I advise people to do it all the time. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Now tell our audience where they can find you on the internet.
On Facebook and Instagram, like I said, that's what I usually use. Okay. And on Facebook and Instagram, both my Facebook is www.facebook.com/official Stacy Olieux, and it's spelled STACY, last name OLIEUX, and Instagram is at Stacy STACY Olieux OLIEUX.
Awesome sauce. Thank you for being on my show, Chatting with Nat. I had a wonderful
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you. It was an honor to have you. I hope you continue to do great music because you're awesome. Your songs are awesome. And I hope to see you on TikTok and more on Instagram. And when you do an Instagram Live, I'll be right there. I hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you again for being on Chatting with Nat.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.